everyone, and welcome to another video. I am Simply G, and in this video I'm going to be showing off all of the stuff that I got for my anime and anime related merchandise for this month of July. So I'm going to get straight into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. So first up, I actually got a figure this month. Oh my goodness. He was technically released in May, but was held up by not just coronavirus, but also because of that, the shipping internationally the shipping option that I'd chosen wasn't running. And so this month, when I had a little bit of extra money, I decided I had already paid for this figure, but I was wanting to pay the difference in shipping to upgrade to a shipping option that was actually working and running. So I paid the additional however much it was to get this shipped via DHL. And this is my scale figure of Otengu Jr., I believe is his name. So, okay. Background on this figure. I'm going to just shift a little bit. So, this is a figure. I don't know if he has a scale as described in his manufacturing, but I think he's a 1/7 scale. And this is made by Mythos, who is a figure company from Hong Kong. So, this character and a lot of other he's from a mobile game which I have never played called Onmyoji, which, if you're familiar with Japan and Japanese kind of like supernatural or spiritual stories, Onmyoji is like a thing, and it is a Japanese mobile game, but because this is a Hong Kong manufacturer, you can't actually find this figure or many of Mythos's figures in databases like My Figure Collection. So yeah, he is an official figure, but because of like arbitrary rules, if you're on MFC, you won't actually see a majority of this company's products. I do own one other figure from this company, and that is Stardust, which is another like character I have no idea about. She's a Chinese Vocaloid. I've shown her off before, and I really, really love that figure. I knew that going into this is a company with really high quality, high standards, and the price is normal or even better than a lot of the Japanese companies currently. So yes, really, really happy to have him. I bought him in particular because I really love his design. You guys know I'm a big fan of yokai and yokai stories and things like that. And when I saw photos of him, of his pre-release, pre-order period, I just fell in love. I knew I had to have him. The bad thing, though, unfortunately, it has made me look into more figures of characters from this franchise. I do think you can play Onmyoji on mobile. I know it's on Android. I'm not sure about on like iPhone or anything. But as I said, I haven't personally played it. My sister, since I've gotten him, has started, and she says it's a really fun game. But I have now fallen down this hole of looking into more figures that not necessarily done by this company, but are of characters from this game. And most notably, there's a company called NetEase, which is a game company in China and in Hong Kong that produces scale figures of a lot of the characters, and they're so pretty. But the thing is also that I really want to buy them. There's a lot of those figures that I want to buy because they've released a lot of them, and they're really well done, really nicely made. but they're all Taobao exclusives. You can only buy them in China, which means if I want them, I'm going to have to go through a Taobao proxy, which is fine because I have one, but at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to be spending this money? And really, the answer, frankly, is yes. Of course I do, because there's some really lovely ones. I don't know when or if I will be buying more characters from this franchise, but I love him. I love him. He's so beautiful. His base here, the clouds, are just so well done, and it's also really heavy. It's not going to fall over or anything like that. It's just really lovely in his make. His sculpt is beautiful. The painting is beautiful. So many fine details, and I'm so happy to finally have him. I've just been in love since I first saw him, and it's been a long time coming. This is probably one of my most I say this because I don't pre-order figures or buy figures all that often anymore. People who have seen my larger collection do know that I do own quite a few figures, but I don't pre-order too many anymore. Although that has changed. I have quite a few on pre-order as of right now, but I especially don't buy figures from things that I have no background on. I'm not aware of the show or things like that, because I feel like that's a really slippery slope. I very rarely buy figures for an aesthetic purpose, but I just had to make the exception with him because it's just everything that I love. The colors are beautiful, the sculpt is beautiful, the execution of it is beautiful, and yeah, really, really, really happy to have him in my collection. And if you are wanting this figure in particular, you can actually buy it from a majority of figure stores online. This isn't a Chinese exclusive. Mythos, none of their figures are exclusive to China, so you can generally buy them from like Ami Ami or Big in Japan or Nippon Yasan, etc., wherever you normally buy your figures. And I highly recommend them, especially if you are a fan of scale figures or 1/7 scale, or yokai designs, or if you're a fan of the Onmyoji game, then yeah, beautiful work. So for the anime that I got this month, I'm going to start out with the kind of unexpected purchase, and that is Hunter x Hunter: The Last Mission. This is the second and final original franchise film for the 2011 Hunter x Hunter show. I don't particularly think either of the films are brilliant, but they're pretty typical, like, forgettable / skippable franchise shonen films, right? This is the weaker of the two, in my opinion, because Phantom Rouge does actually have some pretty solid Kurapika stuff in there, most notably because it's written by Togashi, so that's great. But this is an original story that's set kind of early in the Khmer Ant arc. So basically, and it honestly, it's kind of like one of those franchise films that is better not remembered because it kind of screws up some of the other stuff that happens later with sort of Nen abilities and things. Anyway. So this film follows Gon and Killua. Obviously, they are invited to return to Heaven's Arena because their friend Zushi from the Heaven's Arena arc has qualified to kind of try and become the best of the best, the top of the totem pole, shall we say, at Heaven's Arena. So he's about to compete for that. So Wing and Zushi invite them along. We also see Leorio and Kurapika. Kurapika is there in his bodyguard capacity for the mafia, and then Leorio is there as a medical officer. You don't really see the two of them very much throughout this film. Hisoka is also there for I don't really remember why. I'm pretty sure Illumi is there. There's a lot of like cameos of people that you know or have seen if you're familiar with the show or the manga. Biscuit is there. So yeah, like a lot of just randos at this event, which unfortunately gets hijacked by these terrorists who have this weird like anti-Nen thing that they can do. As I said, it's not a brilliant movie. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's good. I wouldn't say it's a must watch for people. But it's fine. Like, it's fine for what it is. It's a good time. It's dumb. There's a lot of fan service in there in regards to like, oh, I haven't seen this character in ages. Which is like, I think that's what you want from this kind of dumb spin-off franchise film. It has some okay animation. I haven't watched it since it first came out forever ago. So I know it's a different art style than the show, because both of the movies, they don't look bad per se, but they don't always look as good as the show, which is weird, especially considering their movies, obviously. But yeah, anyway, it's still a good time to see my boys. It's still like a fun, turn your brain off kind of action movie. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I'm definitely like a completionist when it comes to this sort of stuff. I wouldn't say like again, it's not like a must watch, but if you're a fan of Hunter x Hunter and you want more, and you've already like suffered through all the other, like if you're used to suffering through shonen franchise films in the vein of like all of the weird Naruto movies and such, then you'll be fine. This is not there. It's as good as that / as bad as that. I'd say it's probably a little bit better, but yeah, Hunter x Hunter: The Last Mission. All I need now is to get the last 2 of the television releases, so part 6 and part 7, which is the rest of the Chimera Ant arc / the election arc. And then I will have finally finished my 2011 collection, because I love Hunter x Hunter, especially this iteration of it. This is how I was introduced to it. You guys know me, I'm a big Togashi fangirl now. And this series was what started it. Not this movie, but the series in general. And yeah, I mean, this particular release finally had its price drop in a couple different places, which is why I picked it up now compared to just waiting. But I was going to get it eventually, so might as well get it whilst it was on sale at a couple places. And finally, for my anime, I have another film. This one is one that I've been much more highly anticipating, and really super duper excited to get this, and that is Promare. This is the UK release by Anime Limited, and you can see it's a big, like, thick limited edition. So it comes with a chipboard box, and there's a sticker of the what is it? Like the fire department, I guess. There's a poster as well of the main poster artwork. This is the back sheet, which obviously has all of the information on there. This is a Region B release, I think, though it is actually A, B. I don't know, because I'm pretty sure the US has just reused, like basically just took this. It's the same discs and everything, perhaps. I don't know. But we have the Blu-ray release, the disc, and the soundtrack, which is really wonderful. If you haven't seen Promare, it's great. I saw it in cinemas twice, once subtitled and then once dubbed. It's a really fun time. Great dub. I don't really tend to watch a lot of anime movies dubbed, but especially because they don't have a dub when I see them. But I liked it. It was good. Really, really wonderful, high action, fun Trigger style mecha. I mean, it's done by Trigger. And so there's an art book or info book, and then this is literally the entire script in English. I don't know why, like, this is kind of a popular ad, like, extra for film, especially film releases. You see it a lot in Japan, actually, of having the script, but I don't really know why. It's not something that I ever look for with a release of a movie or a show, but it's, it's probably better than getting a keychain and like some playing cards or whatever, or a lanyard. So I'm not going to really complain too much, but I do think it's kind of an unnecessary extra. Anyway, Promare, great film, lots of fun. I'm pretty sure it's available video on demand now. I'm pretty sure it's been released on disc in the US. If not, I'm kind of surprised, but this took a while to get to me. I don't know if this has been released in Australia yet. We are getting our own release, and it is a limited edition release, but it's like completely different. It has different art, and I don't think it's a hard box. But anyway, yeah, Promare, a lot of fun. Lots of robot fighting, so beware of that. And if you don't know what Promare is, I should probably explain. This follows a future in where there are a race of people called the Burnish who can spontaneously combust and start fires and things like that. So they kind of cause havoc within the city, across the world. And this is like a genetic mutation. They are actively different from the people around them, but because of that, they've been heavily discriminated against, because they're seen as dangerous and unpredictable and whatever else. So they cause fires, and there is a terrorist group called the Mad Burnish who are trying to fight for the freedom of the Burnish, who is head by this character here, Leo Focia. And then we have our main character, Gallo, who is a member of the fire department, who are not quite anti-Burnish. They're not an anti-Burnish force. They just literally, as the name says, I mean, they're a fire department, so they fight fires. So they're kind of in this position where they come into contact with Burnish, but they're not the anti-Burnish force. That's a different group. And there's a lot of interesting, from a Western perspective, there's a lot of interesting imagery in regards to, obviously, ice is used to stop these Burnish, and so that there's obviously a lot of allegories or similarities, parallels that you can take from using ice to stop a group of people who are discriminated against for something that they have no personal control over, and sort of very obvious parallels in US politics and US immigration, things like that. I'll just put that out there. It's not subtle, and I'm certainly not the first person to point it out. But it was an interesting talking point, to say the least, when this movie was first coming out. It's great. It's fun. It's bombastic. I'm interested in watching it on a small screen because I have not yet actually watched this Blu-ray. As I said, I did watch the movie twice in cinemas. It was great, but I want to see whether or not it may be a little bit easier to watch on a small screen. Because in particular, I know my sister, she has kind of sound sensitivities, right? And so it was like a lot for her to watch, and because she'd just get headaches, and like it would just be an overstimulation of her brain. I'd be interested to see her reaction in watching it on a small screen rather than in the cinema. But Promare is good, wonderful soundtrack, which I'm really happy that it is included in this release. I'm not like a huge stan for Trigger. I like a lot of their shows. Other shows of theirs, I'm like, that was fine. It's not my favorite. They've never done something that like I absolutely adore, but this is perfectly in their style. It's probably my favorite of their stuff that they've put out so far. And yeah, check it out. So that's all I got for July, but considering I have gotten anime these last couple months, but I don't tend to buy a lot of anime, and I certainly don't buy too many figures, but I'm really, really happy with the stuff that I got this month. One of them was sort of like an impulse pickup of something that I was going to get anyway, but Promare was one that I was really, really excited for, and of course, Otengu, I love you. And he now has pride of place on my particular shelf, my particular display area for this sort of figure, and he looks really good there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I talked about today. Are you playing the mobile game that this character is from? Tell me how it is. Have you seen these movies, or one or the other? If you like them, if you dislike them. I love hearing your thoughts and your comments. But I will catch you in the next video. Bye till then.